Business is the art of taking a leaf out of daily life's common sense and using its nutrients to grow a full tree. Dhirubhai Ambani's strategy to convert high-cost debt instruments into profitable equity is one of them. Now the world needs to have a look at Adani's self-seller, self-consumer model. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Apurva, and if you're watching us on Facebook, give our page a like, and if you're watching us on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Coming back to the story, in this video I will tell you about Adani's genius business plan. So let's begin. Recently, Gautam Adani's decision to acquire some big companies in India's cement industry garnered some big headlines. The Adani Group recently agreed to buy Swiss building materials maker Holcim Limited's India assets Ambuja Cements and ACC Limited for $10.5 billion in one of the largest ever acquisitions by an Indian group. The Adani family outbid the likes of JSW Group and Ultratech to complete the acquisition and become the second biggest player merely 2 years after foraying into the cement sector. As per market regulator SEBI, Holcim owns 63.19% in Ambuja Cement and 4.48% in ACC. Ambuja Cement in turn owns a 50.05% share of ACC. The Adani family will now hold 26% of these two companies as non-promoter shareholders. Though Gautam Adani is a compulsive buyer, even judging the deal on Adani's standards, the decision to become the second largest player came as a surprise for many. It did not make much sense for Adani to diversify his portfolio. Adani Group is already invested in port management, electric power generation and transmission, renewable energy, mining, airport operations, natural gas, food processing and infrastructure. Prima facie, common sense suggests that the investment would only divert Adani from his core businesses. But there is madness and there is a method behind the madness. It's not fair to judge the former without understanding the latter. Let's understand Adani's strategy for the acquisition. Adani Group is one of the biggest investors in India's infrastructure growth. By the end of March this year, Adani Group had invested 41,000 crores in road construction. The portfolio includes a 5,000 kilometer road spread over 10 states. In India's port sector, Adani is the biggest investor. At 10 ports, the company named Adani Ports and SEZ is involved in port management, logistics and the special economic zone. In the last few months, the group made massive announcements of investing 10,000 crore rupees each in ports of West Bengal and Maharashtra respectively. Not only ports and roads, but Adani is also investing in strengthening India's airport infrastructures. In 2020, he announced to invest 35,780 crore rupees in airport infrastructure. Additionally, Adani is also heavily invested in other urban infrastructure projects, including urban houses. Apart from being progressive in nature, the single biggest link connecting the aforementioned projects is the requirement of cement to get them going. New construction requires cement, but there is a big problem with cement availability in India. Despite being the second largest cement producer in the world, the country lacks an adequate supply chain to distribute it in even proportion. Due to this, cement is by and large a regional commodity in India. The lack of competition among local distributors often leads to an abnormal increase in prices. At the end of the fiscal year 2021, the wholesale price index of cement in India witnessed an increase of 20%. This is a huge problem given the fact that by preliminary estimation, India's 2022 cement production is set to increase by 28.3%. Given Adani's investment in infrastructure, the possibility of big loss was looming large. But the animal spirit in business does not listen to practical reality. It wants the problem to be solved at any cost. Adani listened to it and decided to supply cement to his own industry. By buying Ambuja and ACC, Adani decided to cement his own infrastructure projects. Now, Adani Group will produce the cement to utilize in its own infrastructure projects. Explaining the mechanism, Gautam Adani said, and I read in quotes, On the demand side, we continue to execute on a massive number of construction activities that span every one of our infrastructure businesses. I therefore expect us to be one of the largest customers of our own cement business. Additionally, Adani also hedged his bet on the Modi government's infrastructure push. Explaining how government projects are going to drive cement demand massively, Adani added the creation of 100 smart cities, 200 new airports, housing for all as part of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, large-scale concrete highways and the ministry mandate that stipulates a minimum of 25% of concrete volume to be used in national highways, expressways and other centrally sponsored road projects, the rise of dedicated freight corridors, the list of possibilities that will drive cement consumption is endless. Through the aforementioned deal, Adani Group has ensured that it is the dominant player in the supply chain of its own infrastructure project. This strategy is called backward integration. It is when a company buys another company that supplies the products or service needed for production. Though it does seem like it is a kind of monopoly as everything is being guided by a decision-making authority operating under a single roof. But on the flip side, it will lead to an increase in the efficiency of the cement industry. At the end of the day, final result is what matters. Adani has a proven record of successfully running an infrastructure company. The new strategy is only going to increase India's infrastructure growth, simultaneously expanding Adani Group's business.